Hey, welcome back to my Python tutorial for beginners. Here I'll be talking about randint function and how to use it. Basically, for using this function, you have to import the random module, and random function, how it is used, I'm showing here with an example. For example, you have a variable, you create a variable called greet, in which you are creating a list and listing out items, that is greeting words like hi, hello, hey, hola, what's up, sup, etc. These are different greeting words, right? So you are storing this item in a list form, and this is how a list is formed, right? And we call that list, give it a variable name greet. Yeah, so this is a list formed with a variable name of greet. Now let's say I want to kind of call out different names at different greetings at random. So what I do, I create a variable index, and the index is, the value is going to be random.randint 05. So 05 within the parentheses are the limits of lower limit number, upper limit number. 0 is lower, 5, because we know in integer the starting number is 0 and the last number, the index, is 5 in this particular list. So that's how I create this index variable. And after that, if I allocate this value and print out this value with this index, then what happens is all the names will be called out from this list. Print greet with index. The index value will be the index variable. So what happens is all these greet values, as you can see here, are being generated randomly. Yeah, between the range of 0 and 3 or 0 and 5, whatever value you give. In the initial case, I give an instance of 0 and 5 because 5 was the last index of the index of the last item. So that's up to you. So you can try and experiment, and what happens is the greeting will be generated randomly. Because, and remember, 0, 3, the limit that you have given in the parameter as parameters in the parenthesis of randint is supposed to be integers. So that's why I've allocated that value to index, because index is always an integer. And printing the greet with a value of index, which is treating and generating those items from the list with an index of that particular range within 0 and 5. Now, you can do the same thing with numbers and it will do the same effect. It will produce the same output. The only difference is, like here, I've created a list with the name of num, and it contains, instead of characters, it contains numbers. So, or rather integers. So that's the only difference, and you can do the same formula for, you can use the same code for and use the randint function that way. So basically for randint function, it's always used as random.randint, and within the parenthesis you have to write the parameters, the lower number, which is usually the lower limit of the index, and then comma followed by the upper limit of the index. And usually we start with 0 because that's the first one, and then the last one, whichever be the index of the items listed there. But that's totally up to you. You can also try it within different parameters, within different range of numbers and integers, sorry. Yeah, so this is how it goes, and you will find here that when you're doing like a list of 20, 30, 60, 70, you got some random numbers. Then I experimented by adding some more numbers there, and I'll be getting some other integers at random. So that means the indexes will keep changing, the values will keep changing when I want to take out random numbers from this list. So basically this randint is always done to take out random output of numbers or characters. But when you do characters, as you notice, we use index. Even for numbers we use index. Why? Because it's easier to understand, because we know that index stands for integers. So when you do index is equal to random.randint, and then the within the parenthesis the range of the indexes or the numbers, it's easier for us to follow. So that's why I've given an example like this, and then later on print the number with that index in this case. And in the previous example, print the greeting or the list with that index, meaning whatever item is there with that random index will be generated from the list. So that's the idea. I hope I am clear now. I've just given with different numbers and different characters and 2 examples. You can do with your own set of examples, and you can experiment and find out. This was just to have it as an example. That's it. Hope you understood. See you in the next lesson.